You have once again entered the world of survival horror. Welcome back, everybody. We are getting ready to go on with Resident Evil Director's Cut via PlayStation Network. This is the second part. We have Jill Valentine. One thing we want to do now before we go on is go ahead and equip our gun just in case. Jill, lucky enough to start out with a gun. Now, if you're Chris, this walkthrough will be helpful to some degree, as I will try to remember certain things to tell you, but if not, just bear with it. Right here we have about the spot where the gun's going to be in this general area for Chris. This gun will be dropped. It will be the same gun, ideally, because it's supposed to be the same gun that Jill has. So you're going to want to pick that up, otherwise you might have a little bit of trouble down the road. It doesn't really matter in this game where you start out at, just as long as you do everything in the end. But first let's look at this door. This door is locked, and although Jill has a lock pick, she is really going to still have the same problem with Chris getting through certain doors. Like, for instance, this door has an emblem that explains it needs the carving of an armor, a key, which you will find later in the game. So we'll start with the double door blue and see where this takes us. As you can see, we're in a nice dark blue lit room. Now the first thing we're going to want to do is position this ladder, which is conveniently located here, in a way that's going to allow us to get that map there. As you can see, it's in the little door there. Now that ought to take care of it. Click around, it's a map of the first floor. That will come in handy if you are definitely playing the game. What you want to do is you want to go to your menu, and then that will show you all the doors that you have been through green, the door that you're in right now in red, and then all the unexplored areas on the first floor. That's really helpful if you kind of get confused, especially remembering where what is what, because this game can be a little bit confusing, and it only gets more confusing as you go down the series. First, let's move that out of the way. There's a zombie there. But don't worry, he's dead, right? No, he's not dead. He's just laying there. As you can see, he attacked me. Now, that's not really going to do that much damage. Put me on yellow. You can go ahead and shoot him. It might waste damage. Or your best possible thing to do is to go ahead and take out the knife and to just cut him before he does that to you. But if you're lazy like me, you can just simply run in there and let him bite your leg for a little while. And this will take you back into this area where you will get another ink ribbon. Which, if you need an ink ribbon, that can be very important. You got some nice art back here, but other than that, not too important. So, really, if you're low on ink ribbons, which means you've been saving a lot, remember this. Now we're going to move on and go into this door. Here's another key little tidbit between Chris. Chris would have to use a small key to get into this door, which there are many small keys in this game. If you're Chris, you're just going to have to explore and find out. And now we come into this long hallway, which seems like a very safe and nice hallway, but it's not, trust me. There's going to be some dogs here, and these dogs are going to attack you. There's a little dresser there that looks different than the other ones. If you want, you can move that out of the way by killing the dogs, and you can get a non-essential aid item. That is entirely up to you to do. It's potentially a waste of your bullets to do that. That's entirely up to you. But you do want to at least get this herb. In general, you want to save up your herbs because they can be pretty important. But right now, I'm just going to show you to use these herbs. You can see the little heart monitor down there, which will change from green to red. Red means you really need to heal yourself, so you should get something pretty powerful like the first aid spray. Yellow means that you're weakened, but you're still okay for the most part. And then you have green. Now we're going to walk into this room and see that we can't make it in there because it's a carving of an armor. So what you want to do to help yourself out with that, so you're not continually running around looking for doors, is to go ahead and write down, like, okay, in this hallway, this is where I need an armor key. That way you don't have to do a lot of non-essential running around. Like, I've played this game quite a few times, and you'll see me still forgetting little tidbits here and there, and, well, it's all part of the learning process. Now we go into this room. This room is a pretty well useless room. I mean, at this point in time at least, there's no real reason for us to even come into this room. But if you were curious about coming into the room, you don't have to be. A long hallway, nothing really threatening here. Now we enter the fun. This is a very ominous looking room. Never mind it for right now. Now you come into another room. Look at that. There's a nice shotgun right there for you. If you're Jill, just go ahead and take it. That's right, that shotgun's right there for you. Now, if you're Chris, you don't want to take it. And here's why. Let's go back out into this little ominous room here. Uh-oh, the wall is coming down. Now, at this point in time, you're probably freaking out a little bit because that door's locked and this door's locked and you're probably going to die. At least you think so. But in all actuality, if you're Jill, you're just fine because Barry's going to come and he's going to kick down the door for you and he's going to save your life. Now, if you're Chris, you're dead. Doesn't mean you can't get the shotgun, it just means you have to search around for the broken shotgun to replace it in its spot so the ceiling doesn't come down on you. Jill has it easier, just one of the perks of being a woman, I guess. Non-sexist remark, of course. And there we go. Barry saves the day, and Jill is safe once again.
Oh, Barry!
That was too close. You were almost a Jill sandwich.
You're right.
That's hilarious. Barry is very funny.
But Barry, didn't you say you were going back to the dining room to do some research? Why on earth are you here?
I just had something I wanted to check. Now, let's get back to searching for the lost captain and Chris, shall we?
Thank you, Barry.
There, Barry, acting suspicious as usual. Just never mind his suspicious attitude. Now we're going to walk outside of the door. One nice thing about this game, quite honestly, is that most zombies can just be ran around. The zombies move very, very slowly, and you don't even need to mess with them. But, you know, sometimes you're going to make a mistake or two. Right here's a green herb, you want to grab that. Don't beat yourself up. Just take it and move on. This door is going to be one of the ones that you want to remember, because this is going to be our first encounter of what Resident Evil calls the storage room. Here we have a typewriter again, and then on this floor of this particular storage room we have these chemicals. Just take it. And then we have the nice storage box. Now with the storage box, you're going to find that there are a couple clips in there, and that's pretty important because you'll need that. But you can dump out certain things that you need or don't need. In this case, I recommend dumping off maybe one of your herbs, and this wooden emblem, and your ink ribbons if you don't want to save. And that's it for the second Resident Evil walkthrough.